Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Derek Strauss with Gavroshe, and we are partnering with the CDO Magazine in a series of interviews. And today I have the pleasure of talking with two gentlemen based in Germany. Regis Deshayes, he's the head of data quality at Zeiss Digital Partners, and he's out of the Enterprise Data Governance Department of Zeiss. And the second gentleman is Stefan Hilbert. Stefan is the product owner of data quality and observability, and he is out of the Enterprise Data Management team. So we have both the data governance and the data management team represented here. So gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much, Derek, for having us today. We're very honored and pleased. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
great.
Thank you.
Great. So the topic that we're going to be covering is data quality. The observability side as well will come into it. But it's a hot topic these days, and I think most of the people in our audience will have had some kind of exposure to data quality projects, data quality tools, and the many conversations that are going on about things like observability as well. So I think this is a topic that our listeners are going to be very keen to dial into. And just a note on that, we're going to be dividing this interview up into 3 segments. So be sure to catch all 3, because that will give you the full picture of what we're going to be talking about. The first segment is going to be talking about implementing data quality programs and in-house toolkits. The second one is going to be talking about the architecture side of things, and we're going to dive into maybe a couple of use cases around that. And then the third segment, we're going to be talking about the future. Where do we go to in the future with data quality and data literacy? So, a lot of information-packed discussion going to be taking place across those 3 segments. So, again, to our listeners, be sure to grab all 3 segments because I think you're going to get great benefit from this discussion. So that said, let's jump straight into the first topic here on segment 1, and that is really just to understand a little bit more about Zeiss and the approach that you have to implementing data quality programs. And maybe Regis, we could start with you.
Yes, thank you, Derek. So Zeiss is a long-established manufacturing German company. We actually did celebrate our 177 years anniversary last week. And the company has evolved over time from its root in microscopy to other fields such as industrial metrology, medical device manufacturing, vision care, or semiconductor manufacturing technology. So as you can imagine, the vast amount of data that the company has amassed offers rich opportunities for analysis and exploration. And to make the most of it, a proper data quality program is essential, obviously. So how did we start our data quality program at Zeiss? So basically, we kind of started from scratch, Stefan and myself, about 2 years ago. And the first thing we did was to perform an as-is analysis to identify the vendor tools already in use in the organization, the data quality enthusiasts from the business, early adopters, and also to identify where the pressing pain points are. And very soon, we decided to adopt a multi-thread approach based on 3 pillars, so the tools, the people, and the processes. To start with the tools, for this data quality program, we had a great opportunity to develop our own data quality toolkit. And so we started with an already existing MVP. We'll tell you more about it later on. And then we basically offered our services to all the running digital initiatives in the organization. The second pillar will be the people. So we started developing obviously an argumentation on the value of data quality, the cost of data quality, and we started evangelizing around. So obviously, to be scalable, we also created some educational material on the company's e-learning platform. So the first course we created was a proactive guide to data quality, and the second one, a data quality dashboard walkthrough for data owners and data stewards. To also address this pillar, we started a data quality community of practice and we do organize regularly an online event called the Data Quality Day to improve data quality awareness and literacy. So we started in July, and we'll have a second data quality day coming soon next month. We also decided to invite external speakers to put some more meat to the bone, so to speak. So this data quality community of practice is still growing and it's mostly based on word of mouth. The last pillar would be the processes. So we lately completed an initiative charter that we drove within a company-wide data governance program. And this particular initiative charter, was meant to anchor data quality reporting and data quality monitoring across the organization. We also started nominating data stewards in context of a major enterprise-wide project that we'll discuss also later on. So in this multi-thread approach, I would say the tools thread is the most advanced so far.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I like the approach. And one of the terms that you used there really caught my attention when you talked about data enthusiasts as well. I like that term. I've not heard anyone use that before. So I'm going to remember that one and use it myself in the future. Thank you. So the other key thing that you mentioned was that, you focused on the tools side in terms of building up your own toolkit. And I wondered a little bit more about, why would an in-house toolkit be better than implementing a purchased toolkit? What are your thoughts along that line?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So basically, in the organization, we need to connect more than 1,000 active source systems, both on cloud or on premise. And we want to be able to measure data quality along the entire data journey in a consistent manner. So what do I mean by consistent? What we noticed during our as-is analysis is that if you compare to different vendors' tools, most of the time they will not offer the same data quality dimensions, for instance, or they will offer the same data quality dimension, but not with the same name. So we needed a clear and common definition of dimension and aggregation methods for reporting. And so now we bumped into our next issue, which is that there was no standard which really imposed itself when it comes to data quality dimension. But fortunately, we found a great study from DAMA Netherlands, compiling definitions from very different authoritative sources, and that we use as an enterprise reference. And besides enabling a common definition for dimensions, an in-house toolkit also enables a common enterprise-wide definition for aggregation methods. So there again, we looked into the literature, and we found great inputs from DAMA France on this subject, and also adopted a concept developed by Olga Maidenchik called the data quality score that we integrated in our data quality dashboard. So obviously, an in-house toolkit also prevents you ending up in a vendor lock-in situation. And it really fits well with Zeiss' long-established tradition of craftsmanship, where we really like to sweat the details and develop expertise in-house. But an in-house data quality toolkit also offers many technical advantages, isn't it, Stefan?
So when we develop this data quality toolkit ourselves, we have the freedom to tailor it to our needs. And we want to have a toolkit that provides out-of-the-box data quality rules, but also allows us to create new rules that are very specific for certain business requirements. we want to have it perform well on small and large data sets, because sometimes we have small data sets, sometimes large ones. And we also would really like to integrate this into various data processing pipelines we have for monitoring, for filtering, for improving the data, and to create results, outputs for various output channels that we use for the data catalogs, for ad hoc dashboards, or for other services that consume the data.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, certainly with a huge background of, or a huge environment, you know, ecosystem is the word I'm really looking for, a huge ecosystem of systems and databases all over the place, and the deep history of your company, you know, with all of that data sitting out there, and the varied environments, etc. It certainly makes sense to focus on rather than a purchase toolkit, an in-house toolkit. So thanks for that explanation. That makes a lot of sense. Well, I think that sets us up really nicely for maybe the next couple of segments that we're going to go into. So to our audience, although we're going to wind up this first one, hopefully this is enough to grab your attention and get you to watch out for the next couple of segments that are going to be coming up. So I think we will see you in those.